Hey folks, so behind me tonight, I am set up to try out making an MR2 shaped little bottle opener. So you can see there on my screen, I've got the little MR2 outline, and then the bottle opener portion is right there. So hopefully when this project's said and done, we can crack a cold one. All right, folks, so here we go. That was like maybe 5 minutes of machining, super quick. And we have a little MR2 outline. So I think it turned out pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of here. It does have a few little tabbies holding it together. That's how it stayed put. And I also left like 3 thou on the bottom. I'm curious to see how close I actually got to that. So I guess I could have talked about this up front, but this is not gonna be the final product or anything. I'm just looking to try and make sure my geometry is right. I drew this up and I wanted to kind of see just how it felt in my hand, make sure that it actually latches onto a beer bottle or soda bottle and it actually works right and it's not all messed up before I go too far in depth with it. The finished idea is that I'll actually start out with a little bit thicker piece, face down the top part of it, do some cool engraving on it, then cut the outline out of it, leaving just a little bit below for my vise to grab onto, flip the part, and then take down the remaining material and then do engraving and cool stuff. So both sides would be fully machined and everything. I think that would turn out really cool, but this is just the first prototype, so we'll see how it goes. So I went ahead and unclamped it and everything, and check this out. So I wanted to leave 3/1000ths just to try and avoid cutting through and making marks on the piece down below it. I mean, it's a scrap piece, but I figured why not try and save it. And you can see here that, you know, there's not much aluminum there. It's pretty much tin foil right there. And it did break through in a couple spots. That's probably because that's the middle of the piece, would be my guess. And I was clamped on the side, so there was some flex. But the bottom piece might be hard to see on camera. Doesn't have any gouges or anything in it, so it didn't actually cut the bottom piece. So that's pretty cool. So I was kind of questioning my Z-axis accuracy. So I think that kind of confirms it that, you know, I obviously can't measure that. It's like tin foil, it just breaks right out of there. But I wanted to leave 3 thou. I think I got what I wanted. All right, time to clean this up with probably a sander real quick, clean up the edges, and we'll test her out. All right, here's my bottle opener. Let's see if it actually works. Uh-oh. Oh. It looks like I don't have enough meat right there on the hook. It came to a pretty sharp point. It kind of just wore down as I was using it, and it's not enough to really get under the bottle. Actually, right there when I look at it too, it looks like I actually need to make more room for the bottle cap itself. That's more of a problem, it looks like. I might be able to fix it with a sander and just take some material off this top portion of it so that it sits down on the bottle a little bit lower and at least get a working prototype and go from there. Let me try that. All right, so I just tried it again and the bottle sits down a little bit better. The bottle cap sits in the slot a little bit better, but now I just don't have enough meat to go under the cap. So I'm probably gonna mess around with this for a little while, try and get it to actually work, and then I'll measure it and change my drawing over and then try to make a new one. All right, so I'm gonna have to call this one a fail. Good thing, or we can call it a prototype, whichever one sounds better. I'll try and show you as best I can here. So when I put that on top there, oops. There we go. You can see I measured a 1/4 inch. I thought I had plenty of room in there, but you can see that the bottle cap just isn't seating all the way in there, probably because I put a little fillet on the bottom bend there. And then the little claw on the bottom there, it's not really getting under the cap at all. So then it's just rubbing up the side. So I'll go back, tweak it a little bit. Luckily for me, I always come prepared and have a backup. So we went from making to prototyping tonight, but I'm gonna have a beer. Cheers. So it is the next night. this is the first one that I made last night, and I was lucky enough to have a little bit of time today to kind of tweak this one, figure out the little spot here that wasn't getting enough bite on the bottle cap. So I made a second one, and to make the bottle opener actual portion of it not seem so obtrusive, I guess, on the design, I went ahead and just made the entire thing bigger. So this is the first one, and this is the second one, so you can kind of see the difference there. And I kind of like the bigger size anyway. It fits in your hand a little bit better and everything. So I ended up opening up this gap, so this distance right here is more, as well as making it go deeper into the car itself. So now when I put it on the bottle, it actually wants to latch on there. You can see the bottom, which is the key part, actually goes all the way up against the glass. That's down here. And then I've got room for the cap to actually slide in there. So now on the next version, I may actually try to take out some of this extra space right here. So I'm thinking, since this point comes to a peak right here, I might trim it down a little bit and leave the part where most of the material really is, and where the strength is really, and make the bottle actually sit in the car a little bit more. Or I might take a little bit of this groove out so that it's not so, noticeable and doesn't take away from the shape of the car as much. But yeah, so that works. I'm not gonna open this because this one's warm, yuck. From here, I want to come up with engraving the doors and windows and wheels and all that kind of cool stuff on here. And then probably, I know I need to clean up the contour. I've already started doing that in CAD, where just the roof line looks kind of funky and that sort of thing. Other than that, I think it's working really good, so I kind of feel like I turned a failure video into something that actually works. So super excited about that, and I will see you next week.